Back there talking.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure, yes, yes.
What are we waiting for?
Ann's gonna close the divider.
Oh.
People can kind of still get without it being noisy.
Oh, to pull the.
And we're gonna start. Sean might not want to keep sitting where he's sitting right now, though.
Should I help her, you think, Ann?
No.
No? Okay.
That chair's better than.
Wanted to get walled off.
Yeah.
Got the trick down.
Like, I don't really want to go over there.
He's with her.
There we go.
Tom can help.
Just gotta wait for her to get there. Don't. Yeah, we kind of need her. Don't lock yourself in there, Ann. Yeah. Save me a slice.
You don't like cake.
Which I do like. Jim and Dwight.
First time I figured this out, I promise.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Beautiful work.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, March 22nd. It's 7:05 p.m. I'm Dan Saraki. I'm the mayor of Oldsmar, and I'm calling this meeting to order. Sorry, I had to say that. We're going to start out the meeting with an invocation. I've asked my grandson, Colton, to do the invocation. Colton, would you grab the microphone, please, and all rise.
Our Heavenly Father, we come humbly before you to ask our divine guidance and help during this council meeting. We especially ask for your blessing on Mayor Eric Seidel, the new Mayor Dan Saraki, Councilmember Jared Buckman, and the new council as it is seated this evening and begins its work. Our prayer ask that you give a special blessing to the citizens of Oldsmar and bring us all together in peace. Make us mindful for your perfect goodness and wisdom. This we pray. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We're going to start with the open forum. Each speaker will have up to 5 minutes to speak. And please state your name and your address if you'd like to speak before the council. And is there anybody, can anybody raise their hand? Yes, sir. Come on up.
Dave McDonald, 124 Shore Drive Place. Waited several months to say this. Good evening, Mayor Dan Saraki. So I want to congratulate my nephew-in-law, Jared Buckman. I don't think many people know that. I'm very proud of you. Jared would not tell you this. He tells everybody that I did not try to talk him out of it. That's true. I begged him not to do what this was. But at the end of the conversation, after I said, you know, you're going against Beavis, he's a longstanding council member, former mayor, formidable opponent, he's going to be hard to beat. He said, you know what? I want to show my kids that if you truly believe in something, then you should go for it with all you can. And that's when I said, I'm on your side. So that's the council member you got tonight. A father like that, and I know he's going to do great. Councilman Gannon, Councilmember Gannon, I congratulate you for your defeating error and not running unopposed. It does say something for your service to this city. But I also want to say, in short, because we've said a lot in the last several months, that I hope that you take heed to the election results of Tuesday. We've been trying to tell you a lot of things over the last several months. And I think some 1,500 voters, almost 1,500 voters, told this council something that what they wanted and the direction they wanted the city to go. And I pray that you have the leadership to take heed to those votes and go forward. I know you have a great leader. I know you guys are all dedicated servants to the city, and there's no question about that. Never been a question about that. And we just want to make sure that the citizens are heard and the majority of the citizens get their wish and go forward. And I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen and to support you in this coming 3 years. Thank you.
Yes, come on up. Welcome. Thank you for coming. It means a lot to me.
Be here, and it's good to see you, and congratulations, Jared. Congratulations. My name is Craig Gross, and I live at 711 Satin Leaf Avenue. And I want to bring to everybody's attention that the 29th of this month is Vietnam Veterans Day. As citizens of Oldsmar, you know, we have a very nice Veterans Park down on Shore Drive. And if our citizens would just take a few moments to go down there and recognize the Vietnam veterans whose names are on the wall. If their names are on the wall from the 60s to the 70s, that's the Vietnam era. I'm a Vietnam era veteran myself, but I didn't go to Vietnam. I was very fortunate along those lines. And then also, please tell your friends and your enemies that if they want, they can come to Mission Barbecue on Vietnam Veterans Day, and if they're a Vietnam veteran, we will give them a free lunch, okay? So thank you very much. God bless you. We look forward to ongoing success for our city, and I'm just thankful that we're moving onward and upward.
Thank you, Craig. Anyone else that would like to speak in the open forum? Yes, come on up, please. Oh, hold on. Ed, you'll be next, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Ladies first? Beauty before age. Oh, thank you, thank you. Good evening, Suda Yantis Cologne, 402 Arlington Avenue East, Oldsmar, Florida, in a wonderful town that we love. First of all, we want to start off by congratulating Mayor Zaracki on his appointment to the position and Councilmember Buckman on his appointment to the position. It was a great race, and we're looking forward to continued partnership from Oldsmar Friends of the Arts with our council and new council members as well. I'm going to try to keep all this in 5 minutes. I want to, first of all, on behalf of, I got 2 board members here. Okay, we had one more sneak in. Our board member, I'm president of Oldsmar Friends of the Arts. Teresa Scharf is our secretary and treasurer. Kelly O'Brien is our membership chair. Tonight we do not have Barbara Drawbow or Amber Harwood, or there's one more. Vicki Elkin. So on behalf of all of our board, we want to first start off by thanking council and the city for their great support on our first ever Mardi Gras event that happened on March 1st. We raised money for the Oldsmar Performing Arts, which benefits our kids, our students, our programs, and its community. And I think any of those which all of you attended, which we were very honored, we have now made our mark and our place for Mardi Gras every year. So I can tell you right now, February 21st, 2023, put that on your calendars now. We've already confirmed it is not a council night. So please plan to attend our next one, which we hope to be bigger and better. Actually, with all the challenges we faced on the first one, we were honored at how beautiful it did turn out. And actually, I had a number of people say, don't do the tent, just keep it under the stars. So as long as our weather holds out, that seems to be a nice venue. And of course, we're hoping for great future plans for that area for performing arts down the road. Second of all, I would like to, wearing several hats tonight, as I do, we want to remind everybody that coming up, The Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid Jr. What do you mean, ew? Careful, I'll put you on stage. The Little Mermaid Jr. is coming up on April, I better read from the paper or I'll miss something. Saturday, April 23rd, 8 p.m. It is beginning at 7 p.m. with, we're inviting everybody to come out and have dinner and a show. So Pit Barbecue at Uncle Dave's Kettle Corn will be set up at 7 p.m. So we encourage you guys to come early, have a bite to eat. And at 8 p.m. will be the performance on Elizabeth Smith Amphitheater stage at RE Olds Park. This is a free outdoor event. I can tell you for these type of events in the past, we've seen upwards to the numbers of 600 for an average 8 to 10-year-old show. So if you'd like to come and see this great musical, make sure you come early. Actually, behind me here is King Triton, which we will have him on a stand, Mr. Zane Scharf, and his cohort, Miss Fallon O'Brien, plays our Grimsby, and they will be in full costume. You'll see them singing and dancing their way into your hearts. This is brought to you by Oldsmar Friends of the Arts, Opal Theater, and of course, in partnership with the City of Oldsmar. So we thank you again for your partnership on those areas. We need your support and the community support. We want to see arts grow in this town. I have my new saying that you guys have all heard me say. It starts with parks.
And grows with the arts.
Thank you. It's starting to get around. Also, we want to remind you to mark your calendars because not only do we do the theater programs, we also do the dance program. And our upcoming theater or dance performance is in May. That is on May 21st on a Saturday at 5 p.m. This is also a free event. And our theme this year is moving to musicals. All kinds of musical music that our kids are dancing to, which also happen to be 2 of these up here in front of us that will be performing in that show as well. And we'll be doing a special mini production of The Wiz, which I think will be great. I really like to expose our children to all types of variety of musicals, classics especially, because they don't get exposed to them as often. So I like to see those classics come back around, and of course The Wiz with Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, some of the greatest music of an earlier age that I think is great to share with these kids. So, anything else from my board that you'd like to say?
Just thank you. Yes.
Thank you for the support. And I do understand we have something coming up a little later, so we know that we can count on your continued support on the agenda items coming up. And we hope you all will come out and see our performances on April 23rd and May 21st down at RE Olds Park. Free events. Come join us. Thank you, everybody. And congratulations. You hang out? See ya. Go get them dinner. I'll stay here.
Ed, come on up.
My name's Eddie Sears. I live at 608 Chestnut Street. I've been in Oldsmar now about 23 years, and I want to congratulate every one of you. I know most of you, at least some of you. I know the job you are undertaking is a tremendous task, and it's very important. But in all of our celebration, we have to remember we are enjoying something tonight that is being taken from the Ukraine. Excuse me. I'd like for those of us who are believers, tonight when you go to bed, drop to your knees, bow your head and pray for them. We might not be able to help them. God can help them. And they need your prayers more than anything. And I'm a member of Bayside Church.
Thank you, Ed.
Y'all have a great night.
Got one more person. Don, come on up.
So, Don McCullers, 343 Country Club Drive. Congratulations to everybody. Good seeing everybody. Hope we all continue to have this great success that we've had in the past years. You know, concerning the comments earlier about the direction of the city, I think the last time I saw people really given a much stronger direction of the city is when they tried to dissolve our city years ago and turn us over to Pinellas County, and people come out in droves. So we have a strong city. We'll always have a strong city, and we'll be there. The one thing I did want to come up and talk about tonight, and unfortunately it always seems like there's some negativity in there, but I know that we do have to kind of continue to move forward, but we can do that in small steps too, and make sure we're going in the right direction. And we have a topic on the agenda tonight about rebranding, and branding is when you basically say, hey, I've been sold. There's a new guy coming to town. Let's don't forget our roots. You know, our strategic vision. You know, I'd hate to see us replace an old Oldsmobile with an electric car. I'm sorry, I just don't think that would be appropriate for us. Let's, you know, there was something in there about, you know, we can't use a wagon wheel. Well, take a look at an aerial of this town. R.E. Olds laid this town out on the spur of a wagon wheel. If you look at it from R.E. Olds Park and look outward, that's what it is. Just remember and take this slowly, or we could have another uprising on our hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Barry, come on up.
Good evening. Barry Sullivan. I live at 300 State Street East, number 326. My wife Tracy and I are pastors here in the city, have been for more than 25 years. In that time, we've helped to organize the National Day of Prayer every year. We'll be back out May 5th, Thursday, this year as well. We wanted to offer our congratulations to all of you. And just to reaffirm, those of you coming on might not realize, but we've challenged the church every year to pray daily for each and every one of you sitting on this council, for our city manager as well, for the city employees, the clerks. And I just wanted to, on behalf of the pastors, reaffirm that commitment to you, that each and every day that one of you is being prayed for, that we don't believe that anything happens apart from the hand and the move of God in this city. And a lot of people might not agree with that, but we believe that God's hand has been on this city. He's kept us from adult-oriented businesses. He's kept us from just crazy stuff coming through here. And it's kept that small town feel that a lot of us have fought for in this campaign, this election. And we believe it's because God's got a plan and a purpose for the city that's greater than ourselves. So I just wanted to reaffirm that commitment to you and let you know that if you need anything, if you ever want prayer for anything personally or privately, most of you have my information. You can reach out to us and we keep that confidential, and we'll just continue to pray for each and every one of you. God bless.
Thank you, Barry. Jason Sanders, come on up.
Good evening, Council. I'm Jason Sanders, Chairman of the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, 101 State Street. Congratulations, Mayor Strachey, Jared, Mr. Buckman, I'm sorry. Yes, okay, that's good. Gentleman said earlier about moving forward and taking small steps. I agree. Take baby steps to Oldsmar Days and Nights this weekend. Yes. Yes, we are having it again, and we don't want you to miss it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Our esteemed council will be there on Sunday, I believe. Is that correct? Yes, everybody nod.
12 to
Yep,
6.
good.
We're there.
12 to 6.
12 to 6, they will be serving drinks and shaking hands and kissing babies. So put on your best bonnet.
Same time.
Yeah. It's okay, I don't want to get kissed either. So come out for that if you would, please. Just want to remind everybody, we'll be there all weekend. Fun music games, we got the carnival, and what else? Lots of music, lots of fun. So thank you very much for your support, and we look forward to working with you guys.
All weekend. Thank you.
See ya.
What's that?
Parade on Saturday.
And a parade on Saturday.
Parade.
11 o'clock.
Just got it.
We're working hard for that. We got to throw that in.
Susan Oliver, you have the floor.
Susan Oliver. I'm here representing the Upper Tampa Bay Education Foundation. I just wanted to say thank you very much for your partnership. And we are in an exciting time right now where we are choosing the Pinellas County Scholarship recipients, so Countryside and East Lake.
Star grants. Yeah.
So we will be doing that. And then they have an awards ceremony at the Chamber's annual awards night. I believe it's in May. I don't have the date right now, but look for that. And also, I learned in our board meeting that we don't have sponsors for all of the schools that we support through our STAR program. And you can sponsor a school at $600. And we do have schools that we sponsor throughout the county in the Tampa Bay Chambers, Upper Tampa Bay Chambers footprint. So you might have a business or know somebody that is in Tampa that's interested in sponsoring a school. So I know that's outside of Oldsmar, but I just wanted to put it out there because there are a lot of schools in need. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Then I'm going to close the open forum, and the next agenda item is our community minute, and it'll be given by our city clerk, Ann Nixon.
Thank you. So we have some public open houses coming up. Free to attend, the city will host 3 public open houses to obtain public input and present the essential terms and conceptual plan of a proposed development agreement for 6.22 acres of city-owned land adjacent to the Oldsmar Public Library. So this is a library site. There are 3 of them coming up. One of them is tomorrow, March 23rd, from 6 to 8 at the library. Thursday, March 24th, from 1 to 3 at Gulliver Village. And then Saturday, March 26th, 9 to 11 at the rec center. So you could go to there and then still make it in time if you take bigger than baby steps to get to the Oldsmar Days and Nights Parade. And then Sunset Sound Series on April 1st, hopefully no fooling, weather permitting. We'll have a Sunset Sounds concert, free to attend, family-friendly outdoor event featuring live event entertainment by the VCRs. Food truck on site, so you can grab a bit during the show. Bite, I think that should be. Grab a bite during the show. Bring your own chairs and blankets. Golf cart parking available. And then on the next day, Saturday, Easter's coming up. The Extravaganza, free to attend. Saturday, April 2nd, 9 o'clock at Ariel's Park, and it's 9 o'clock sharp, right? An excellent event featuring family-friendly programs.
It takes like 2 seconds
It
for them
takes
to
2
collect those
seconds.
eggs.
Oh,
You better
they know how to find
be
their
there.
eggs. They
You better
do,
be there
they
on
do.
time.
Thousands of Easter eggs will be hidden across the park for all ages to discover, but not for long. Other fun activities and a visit by the Easter Bunny are planned. So they have a 9 o'clock magic show, 10 o'clock the egg hunt. 10 o'clock is the egg hunt. 10:30 is another egg. Okay, there's ages. Yeah, I should read this ahead of time. I'm so busy with everything, but it's so much fun. You can learn more at oldsmarevents.com. So 9 o'clock magic show, 10 o'clock 0 to 3, ages 0 to 3 is the egg hunt. Then 10:30, ages 4 to 8, that's the egg hunt. And then 11 o'clock for 9 to 12, another egg hunt. So lots of eggs, lots of kids and lots of fun.
And excellent job, wonderful. Next item on the agenda is approval of additional new agenda items. We have 10. The city manager said, Dan, it's your first meeting. Let's give you 10 new agenda items. That's on item 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17, and 18. I'm looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
I believe I have a motion by Vice Mayor Knapp, and the second was by Katie Gannon. Councilmember Gannon, thank you. Next is awards. Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes, thank you. We need to vote on that?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, guys. Awards and recognition is our next agenda item, and our presentation of the Council Manager Award for March 2022 will be given by Councilmember Steve Graber.
You're supposed to turn them off, Jared, after you're done speaking. I'm just saying you're new. I get it.
What was the last you?
Good evening, everyone. I have the distinct honor and privilege of presenting the Council Manager Award for March 2022 to my friend, Terry Sage. Terry's hiding back there. We can give him a round of applause. Terry, I honestly have never seen this kind of turnout for a Council Manager Award, so congratulations. This is exceptional. Before I begin, a bit of a funny story about how Terry and I became friends. About a year and a half ago, I stopped by Oldsmar Cares, and it was during COVID, so me and a volunteer wearing a Notre Dame face mask struck up a conversation. When I asked Terry his name, he said, Terry Sage. And I said, what? And he said, sage, like the spice. I'll never forget that. It's a good description. Terry then asked where I lived, and I said, Forest Lakes off Jacaranda. He said, oh, my brother-in-law, Rick Tuck, lives there. And I said, Uncle Rick? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, his niece is my best friend in the entire world. I told Terry who my niece was, and he said, that's my niece. Pulled off my mask, and I said, you're Uncle Terry? We had probably met each other sometime in 97, 98, 99, completely forgotten who each other were, but we both looked just as good. That's good. Terry grew up in Illinois and moved to Florida in 1969 after serving in the Army for 2 years, including 1 year in Vietnam. Round of applause for that, please. Thank you, Terry. Terry and his wife then bought a house in 1972 in Harbor Palms, where they raised both of their daughters. Terry spent his career in the construction industry and retired as a senior project superintendent for a commercial building contractor, which I think is why he keeps telling me he'll fix everything at my house, since I know how to do exactly none of it. So come on over whenever, Terry. Kelly's here. I'm sure she'll tell you to come on over. Terry's daughters and 2 grandsons attended Oldsmar Elementary, and his great-grandson will one day become an Oldsmar Owl. Terry's oldest daughter also taught at Oldsmar Elementary before moving to Ocala, and his youngest daughter continues to call Oldsmar home, and both of her sons work for the city. In terms of service to the community, Terry coached soccer teams for both of his daughters in the original Oldsmar soccer organization, while also serving as a member of their board. He also became a coach for his grandson's teams and coached girls soccer in Countryside for 12 years. Terry is a proud veteran and a charter member of Oldsmar's VFW Post 12186, where he currently serves as a trustee. Additionally, if you've ever had the privilege of visiting Oldsmar Cares, you will find Terry volunteering his time there, whether it's helping inside the main building or assisting in the renovation of the new one. Terry was also heavily involved in setting up the satellite Oldsmar Cares partnering pantry in Gull Air, which was created to assist Gull Air residents. As I mentioned before, Terry has lived here and volunteered his time since 1972, 50 years. When I called Terry to tell him he was receiving the award, I wanted to make sure he knew that I knew he never sought after recognition for all of the things he's done and continues to do. Then I said, but too bad. On a personal note, Terry, I'm so very proud to call you friend. And please know that the fact that you have been so generous and kind to my wife and our kids is not gone unnoticed. With that, on behalf of Mayor Siraki, City Council, and the entire city of Oldsmar, I want to say thank you for being a pillar of the community. This award is well-deserved and long overdue. Congratulations. Absolutely.
Well,
Say a few things.
just a few.
I know.
All right. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate the award and recognition, knowing farewell that there's many people in this community that deserve it more than me. And I would like to say thank you to the city manager, the city councilmen, Mayor Saraki, and a special thank you to former Mayor Eric Sidile. Thank you.
Okay, we take a couple of them here. Okay.
Great job, Steve. Steve, thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is we're going to move to the Community Redevelopment Agency, item number 2, present, right? Okay, we're going to do that first. Excuse me. Okay, I'm looking for a motion. We need to suspend the rules of the day so that we can move item 13.
So moved.
I have a motion from.
Second.
And a second from Knapp.
Correct.
All right, so we are moving to item 13. It's a presentation of Oldsmar's brand guidelines by Barbara St. Clair.
We got to vote now.
Oh, yes, yes, I need, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, then we're going to do presentation of Oldsmar's brand guidelines, Barbara St. Clair.
Good afternoon, good evening. I would like to present Deb Vitrelli to introduce Barbara St. Clair. Deb Vitrelli is serving as the project manager for the Oldsmar branding effort.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm honored to introduce Barbara St. Clair, Executive Officer of Creative Pinellas. She kindly facilitated a branding focus group for the city on January 12th of this year, which included 21 Oldsmar residents of diverse backgrounds. Some are here with us tonight. The purpose of the focus group was to gather community input to create a new brand for the city of Oldsmar. According to the American Marketing Association, a brand is a name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature that identifies one seller's goods or services as distinct from those of other sellers. A city's brand strengthens its sense of place and provides a unique identity in the minds of the citizens, visitors, and businesses. The focus group results Barbara will present tonight will serve as the foundation of the brand creation. From this foundation, city staff will create 2 draft logos and preliminary brand concepts to present in a preference survey to the Oldsmar community. After the community members demonstrate their preferences through a survey, the logo and preliminary brand concept will be presented to the City Council for consideration. If approved, a complete brand package will be created. Please join me in welcoming Barbara.
It's going to take me 1 minute just to get myself organized so that I can do a good job for everybody tonight. I'm Barbara St. Clair. And I'm desperately looking for my mouse. I am from Creative Pinellas. So what I want to share with everybody is that I am not a fancy consultant. I am not from a city way out here to tell you what you need to do or what you ought to do. I am the Chief Executive Officer of Creative Pinellas. We are the county's local arts agency, and I have a little sideline of trying to help communities do placemaking and building and create more energy and connection with each other and within. And it's so nice to be here at this meeting and see how much connection you already have. So as Deb said, I met with the community and I asked the community some questions and I listened to their answers. And I captured those questions and their answers in this document. And so it's my reflection back of what I heard, tried to do a really good job, made one recommendation because I want to help you to be true to what I found. But what I found is really what you told me. So hopefully that this will work. So I wanted to start out with what we did. We completed a discovery process. And that included looking at what the brand promise was, who the target for your brand was, what category Oldsmar was in, the most compelling benefit of living in or visiting or shopping in Oldsmar, what we call the highest calling, and then the brand personality. Now, to start with, the brand promise. A brand promise is basically what you can expect every time you interact with that brand. So if I were to say to you, and I hope this works, 15 minutes or less can save you 15% on insurance, right? Or when you absolutely, positively have to have it overnight. So a brand starts resonating in your mind, and it's a promise. If FedEx didn't bring it to you overnight, you might forgive them once. But after that, they have violated their brand promise and you won't believe them and want to do business with them anymore. So the first question we discussed as a group is, what is Oldsmar's promise? And I'm running both my computer and that because I can't possibly read that from here. So hopefully I'll keep it in sync. So what the community told me is the promise of Oldsmar is a modern community that combines charm and hometown feel with a commitment to a sustainable future. Located at the top of Tampa Bay, it's an inviting combination of welcoming neighborhoods, waterfront, parks and nature, arts and business, and intelligent and managed growth. So let me just do a touch base. Does that sound like Oldsmar to anybody? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's your promise. When somebody comes to visit you from somewhere else, and you're talking about Oldsmar, or when someone's walking around your shopping district or in your parks, participating in the sports activities in the sports complex, this is what Oldsmar is telling people. And living was very clear, talking to everybody, living on a day-to-day basis. So the next question we discussed is, what is the target? And that means, who do you want to attract to Oldsmar? Who do you want to come by and shop and go to the restaurants and go to the sports complex and maybe move in, maybe open a business here? And you want young, digital savvy couples and families, vibrant empty nesters, and this is a quote, grandma hanging with the cool kids, day trippers looking for ecotourism experiences, and clean businesses that are looking for a community that gets it when it comes to work-life balance and a sustainable environment. So again, I'm just feeding back what you all told me. I'm trying to be a good listener in these conversations. The next one is category. And what category is like, so let's say we have the automotive business. But in the automotive business, we have cars, we have trucks, we have SUVs, we have motorcycles. So what category? So Oldsmar is in a category by itself, which was really fun to discover. It's a small city, only 14,000 residents, but has found the resources and vision to step into the 21st century. Staying connected to a more pastoral, more Florida past, while leading the way in terms of environment, resilience, and sustainability, and doing so in a way that residents and businesses support. So LEEDs buildings, EV charging stations, bike trails, a gold certified government, and even a super modern water treatment system. So a category by itself, I think a lot of communities are maybe they have some of these things right, but they're struggling for balance. Oldsmar at this moment in time really has all of these things happening. So I see smiles in the audience. That makes me very happy. Let's see. Most compelling benefits. So that's kind of the why. So I ask, can you say that a city is welcoming and balanced? Attributes that usually apply to a person. And the answer from everybody we spoke to is, well, yes, you can when that city is Oldsmar, sitting right at the top of Tampa Bay with the beaches to the west, Tampa and the airport to the east, an abundance of arts, culture, and recreation, starting in Oldsmar, fanning all the way south. Oldsmar offers friendship, neighborliness, diversity, affordability, and a history of leadership and planning excellence. Now, you could say that I wrote this myself, but these are the words. We took extensive notes. Deb took extensive notes. I took extensive notes. These are the words that the community spoke at our focus group meeting. Let's see. Oops, sorry. Most compelling benefit, did that one. Highest calling. So highest calling is even sort of the why on steroids. Come home to Oldsmar and escape. It's a multi-generational oasis of parks, nature, families, convenience, and it is a sustainable city of the future. So why is this all important and what does it matter? When you go to develop a logo, when you go to develop the brand package, you want to be truthful to what is real. You want to be truthful to the story that the community tells itself and believes itself and lives itself, and that it can tell other people. So highest calling, a multi-generational oasis of parks, natures, families, convenience, and a sustainable city of the future. That also then becomes a bar that as you move forward as a city, you can test yourself against. So it's very handy to have the highest calling and the brand promise. Kind of, it's like a mission statement in a way. So that's what we did when we met at the focus group. We set the stage to define what it is you want to communicate in your brand and what your brand promise and brand truth is. There's still plenty to be done. My job is not to do that. That is the job that Felicia is going to lead, and I will help if I'm asked. But my job was to get us to this point and then tell you how much more heavy lifting you really have to do. To develop the voice, tone, the logo, which Deb discussed, the typeface, color palette, how you're going to apply the brand, and also, of course, how you move forward, because things cost money in the world that we're in. But the first one is voice, tone, and personality. So when you're thinking of the voice, and that would be in your magazine articles, on your webpage, how does Oldsmar talk about itself? Is it welcoming, open, enthusiastic? Is it friendly? So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna try not to take up too much time with the rest of these slides. You could say, hey, Oldsmar has a really good business climate. Or you could say, Oldsmar is up and coming and business friendly. Which resonates more? Same message, but which is more true to how Oldsmar talks about yourself? We have people of all ages represented. Very true. We are building generations of friendships. So when you're thinking about brand and how you talk about Oldsmar, what's the voice like? Is it just sort of business and kind of matter of fact, or is it warm and welcoming? I would say, based on my experience, is warm and welcoming. And then voice consistency is you want to try to have that voice be there all the time. And I'm going to try something new. I'm going to click this with my left hand and this with my right hand. We'll see if it's important, if it works. So you figure out what your voice is and you stay consistent with it. All right, crafting a logo. Why and wherefore, some rules to live by. A gentleman came up earlier and was worried about the logo. I'm just going to lay out some things to think about as that logo gets created. So I mentioned FedEx a little bit ago. 3 things that make a logo great: storytelling, readability, and usefulness. So I love this one. I'm just going to say I'm a marketing expert, and I can't tell you how long it took me before I saw that arrow in the middle of FedEx. But that is a powerful logo, right? It's really tells you what FedEx is doing. I went one too far. So another thing to think about a logo, it's not just a nice design or a cool image, it's a stand-in for who you are. So when you think about McDonald's, maybe you think about food and eating. Nike's not just an athletic shoe, it makes you look at what's on your feet. And Google isn't just what it is, it's what you can do with it. So in crafting a logo for Oldsmar, what you probably want to put in front and center is you want it distinctive, you want it practical, you want it graphic, You want it memorable, timeless, versatile, scalable. You know, you might want to use it on a giant billboard, and you might want to use it on a tiny piece of social media. You want to make sure it works on white space. So these are all sort of graphical rules, but I gave you an example. Denver, very easy to reproduce in all sorts of different physical environments. And poor Brookland, it's going to turn, you're not going to be able to see it, it's going to turn to mud because it's way too busy. Something else about the logo. How does Oldsmar want to represent itself visually? What is the right image for the Oldsmar community experience? Now, I gave you a lot of things about balance between future and present and the past and people size. So it's an important problem to solve. You want the logo to capture the brand promise, which is in this presentation. You want it to be true of the Oldsmar today and of tomorrow, and you want it to resonate with people who see it. So it's not a matter of the design in itself, it's how people connect emotionally. And this was the only place I dropped in my advice. And if it works for you, then I hope you enjoy using it. And if it doesn't, you have to find your own truth. But because of the brand promise and the category you're in and the highest calling, you probably don't want to use wheels, hubs, and spokes, which probably represents to many people who see it the Oldsmar of old, but not the Oldsmar as it is and as it will be. So what I think you're looking for when you do the design is connectivity, peace, comfort, convenience, growth, sustainability, and it invokes a city of the future. I don't think you want to lose your past. That's part of the promise, the connection to the past, the connection to rural Florida, people-sized community. But you want to make sure that it also says about your forward thinking and the good planning and the sustainability and all the things that you worked for to build a very successful community. The next thing that we're going to just briefly visit on is typeface. And what I really want you to know about typeface is just that it's important. You can see I have 4 examples of typeface. And your typeface can tell the world that you're old-fashioned, that you're welcoming, that you're uptight. And so it tells a story of its own, so it's really important to pick something that connects with people emotionally, even though you don't tend to think of that around typeface. But also, one of the reasons it's one of the most important decisions you're going to make in developing that brand package that Deb talked about is you need to use it in everything. Even like the identifiers on the dais that tell you who you are, so that it's very consistent and across the board. And I'm not saying you need to change those right away, but as you do new things, you want to make sure that you're using the typeface all of the time. In terms of color palette, color is like a rainbow. It invokes many things emotionally, and they have meaning. So here in the next pages in this project, I just pulled what Pantone is the biggest color company in the world, and they create a color of the year, and then they create a package, and they talk about how those colors work together. This is just a sort of sampling of what the design team might look at, because each of these colors tells a story, and I've included that story in them. And then again, just like with the typeface, once you pick the colors, you need to use them and be very consistent. And then what's next? You will want, my recommendation to you is as you develop that, what you're going to do, you develop a brand book or a pattern book. You develop templates, and then you use it in signage, and you just percolate it through your entire visual communications and written communications moving forward. And that's it. I hope I haven't taken up too much of your time, and I hope I brought value to your meeting. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Council, anybody? Yes, Katie, go ahead.
Mayor, I just had, actually, I think my question might be better suited to Deb Vitrelli, who just walked away.
There she
Sorry,
is.
Deb. I couldn't get past the applause quick enough. Thank you very much, Barbara, for that presentation. It was really interesting seeing what was reflected back from the group of citizens that met with you. And it resonated with me reading those sentences. I wanted to mention, though, because Suda still happens to be here, the designer of our city seal. Can you tell me the difference between this effort regarding branding and logo and recognition versus our city seal?
The city seal, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, is the official stamp, so to speak, of the city that it represents. That's on letterhead, that's on business cards, anything official with the city. So it's represented a different way than a logo.
Right. And my understanding is that the city seal is not changing.
Correct.
Is that, okay. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that
We
people
have
understood that.
Suda actually created the logo as well. And what it is, correct me if I'm wrong, Suda, I'm sure you will. Is it's a light pole with the car in it. Anything else in there?
Of course,
Pier.
the pier in the background.
Okay.
And the curved out.
And it was originally done in full color and then, of course, converted to black and whites for the various places.
Yeah.
But thank you for verifying that the seal was not changing, the logo was something
Correct.
separate.
Yes.
Yeah, that was an important element of this to me. I know that Clearwater recently redid their branding, Largo recently redid their branding, a lot of different cities kind of updating their branding, but the city seal stays the same.
Correct.
And that was important to me, and I wanted to make sure that people understood
No,
the
thank you for
difference.
clarifying that. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, both of you, for very, very nice presentation.
Okay.
Any other questions? We're good? All right, thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations to our newly elected officials.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming out. It means a lot to us. All right, I'd like a motion to return to the rules of the day.
So move.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Everyone in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going to move back to the Community Redevelopment Agency with item number 2, with presentation of the CRA Annual Report, Tatiana Childress. And there's no motion on this one, thank God.
Hi, yes, good evening, everyone. Congratulations to Mayor Saraki, Jared, and Katie as well. So yes, this is just the Community Redevelopment Agency 2021 Annual Report. Just a summary, we are required, by Florida statutes, to submit this report by March 31st. So the Oldsmar Community Redevelopment Agency is required by the Community Redevelopment Act to submit a progress report of the year of community redevelopment activities. This is just a draft report since the audited financials are not available with this submission. According to the Florida Statute 163-371, if the audit report is not available by March 31st, the CRA must publish the audited report on its website within 45 days after the submission. So the completed audit report of the trust fund will be available by mid-April on the city website. And this report is being filed to document the annual redevelopment activities of the Oldsmar Community Redevelopment Agency for the fiscal year 2020-2021. This report is prepared and filed consistent with the Florida Statute 163-371. This is just a brief summary of the activities that took place in CRA in 2021. As you all know, we've all worked on density intensity incentive, and one of the main goals of the Community Redevelopment District is to develop incentives that could facilitate development within this area. Since 2021, staff has been working with a consultant on the comprehensive plan amendment to develop the density intensity incentive for the mixed-use vertically integrated development along the Tampa Road corridor in CRA. And if approved, this incentive could promote residential infill development at a higher density along the multimodal corridor. This is a strategy that is consistent with a smart growth and transit-oriented development. So we also been working on Odeon development, or the library site. The city is currently negotiating a development agreement to develop a mixed-use townhome live-work community adjacent to the city library. The mixed-use site also includes a future theater that will be developed by city. The project will create a nice transition connecting the main downtown developments to the less dense single-family residential areas, and will offer a new walkable area to explore. We also covered some placemaking by creating parklets. We had one restaurant who received the incentive for the interior remodeling, and at the same time, the city also created a parklet in the area by converting several city-owned on-street parking spaces along the State Street into a patio and walk-in sitting area. Parklets are also known as street seats or curbside seating, are urban design tools that could help turn the curbside into a vibrant community space and are typically the product of a partnership between the city and the local business. To utilize the patio, the restaurant owner must sign the revocable license agreement with the city, and the parklet addresses both the CRA placemaking goals and provided an extra seating area for the nearby restaurant under the 2021 COVID-19 indoor dining restrictions. So we continue to administer the homeowners fix-up grants. Since program implementation, 80 applications have been approved and over 59,000 has been distributed to the owners. The program provides reimbursement costs for beautification such as paint in the windows, doors, roofs, and hazard mitigation projects. On average, we receive 1 to 4 of these programs a year. Last year, we received nine applications. So city staff also worked on the Complete Street project along St. Petersburg Drive. The city was awarded a Complete Street grant in 2019 for a portion of St. Petersburg Drive to improve and beautify this main collector road in the CRA. In 2021, the city received the 60% plans, and we also received the 100% design plans that are currently under the review. The city also conducted an open house for this project in 2021. The construction phase of the streetscape is currently budgeted in fiscal year 2024, but is likely to be moved to the beginning of summer of fiscal year 2023. Again, this is just a brief summary. So you have just a draft. The final paper copies of the CRA annual report will be available at the City Hall and also at the library. And the electronic version will be available online under myoldsmar.com/CRA. Well, if you search for it in Google.
Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. Council, anybody have any comments or questions? All right. Great job again. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tatiana.
Yep. Next item on the agenda is the consent docket, which will be read by our city clerk, Ann Nixon.
Item number 3, award 2022-007, invitation to bid, citywide HVAC repairs and replacements to B&I Contractors and Air Mechanicals Service Corporation, AMSCO. Item number 4, award purchase of IT equipment to VTechio based on the same pricing terms and conditions as the State of Florida DMS contract number 432-11500-WSCA-15-ACS, piggyback 16-002. Item number 5, waive bid requirement and award contract for the renovation of baseball, softball fields at the Oldsmar Sports Complex to World Sports Turf and Marketing LLC under the same terms and conditions as Hillsborough County contract number 180302, number 2, piggyback number 2022-08. Agenda item number 6, waive bid requirement and award Major Electric Motors the contract to conduct rehabilitation work on the Douglas Lift Station per Lee County contract number B190409JJB, piggyback 20-028. And item number 7, accept resignation of Jared Buckman from the Planning Board. Item number 8, approve payment to legal counsel for February 2022 legal services. Agenda item number 9, approve minutes of the March 1st, 2022 council meeting.
Thank you, Ann. Would anybody like to pull anything from the consent docket?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to pull item number 5, please.
Okay. I need a motion to move item number 5.
Need a motion to approve the consent docket with the absence of number 5.
So I need.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And
Aye.
any other comments, please?
Item number 5.
Okay, yep. Would you like to explain why you?
Do you want to present it, Felicia, or do you want me to just?
I will present it.
Thank you.
Item number 5, waive bid requirement and award contract for the renovation of baseball, softball fields at the Oldsmar Sports Complex to World Sports Turf and Marketing, LLC, under the same terms and conditions of the Hillsborough County contract number 180302. And so item number 5. In 1994, the city opened Phase 1 of Canal Park, which consisted of Little League ball fields and is now known as the Oldsmar Sports Complex. Since opening, the fields have served tens of thousands of athletes participating in baseball and softball activities. Over time, the fields have shown wear and tear and have experienced drainage issues that interrupt the consistency of play by Oldsmar Little League and other user groups. The proposed renovation of the fields consists of scraping of the existing sod, laser grading of the subsurface, and clay for proper drainage, and the reinstallation of new sod. The renovation will enhance the facility and provide a safe and consistent playing surface for youth and adult players on which to practice and play. In anticipation of renovating the fields, the city applied for and was awarded a $200,000 matching grant from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection's Florida Recreation Development Assistant Program in 2020. This grant, along with the city's $200,000 matching contribution, will fund the renovation of the baseball portion of the complex. Additionally, replacement of scoreboards, minor renovations to restrooms, concession areas, some fencing will also take place and be procured separately from this renovation. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you for that, Felicia. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any other comments? Yes, Katie?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The reason I wanted this item pulled because it's a significant expenditure, and it was really significant to me to make sure that folks understand what we're undertaking here because of actually opening day at Little League. You guys remember, I think almost everybody was there in one capacity or another. So as you know, I was privileged to throw out the first softball pitch on opening day. And I couldn't recall a time when a first softball pitch had ever been thrown, just the first baseball pitch. And so it was kind of a cool moment, of course, to embarrassingly throw a softball across the field. I practiced for like 2 days. Thank you, Ann, for loaning me the ball. And it became an important moment for me for a couple of reasons. First, because nobody had thrown a softball despite all the softball players standing there, every year. And I thought, afterwards, certain parents of female softball players approached me. I remember distinctly afterward because I went to Green Market Cafe for lunch, and in came the girl who caught my softball with her family, and I was like, oh, geez, so sorry for that. And they approached me to talk about the conditions of the fields that they play on. Field number 7 and the scoreboards at field number 7 that didn't work. And the sort of perceived inequality in the maintenance and amenities of the softball fields versus the baseball fields. And I hadn't previously been aware of this. I think we're all aware of the field drainage issues. I mean, it's had that and always will have that because of where it's located geographically and the elevation. But I wasn't aware of the scoreboard issue, and I wasn't aware of the perceived inequality regarding field number 1 is apparently the field that gets used most often by the baseball teams. And, while recognizing that the baseball fields are probably more frequently used and there might be more baseball players than softball players, it was really important to me that there was no parent and certainly no softball player, no young lady perceives that they are less than, or that their sport is purposely treated as less than, or that they're not afforded the same options or quality experience as their peers. So, of course, get on the phone. Felicia, do you know what's happening? And she said, oh, yeah, of course. No, we're doing all of them. And I was like, oh, thank God. And so I was provided this really cool map, which nobody will be able to see. But essentially, it's a map of the entire sports complex and all of the fields and all of the renovations that we're going to be doing, including resurfacing the parking, renovating the softball fields, the warm-up areas, the new shades for the bleachers in the softball fields, a new scoreboard, new scorer's table, new fencing, and the concession stand, the common areas of the restrooms. And over here, you can see that this is a massive budget for this project. I mean, $265,000 is a whole lot for fields, but it was a whole lot to me. And I know it will be to those softball players and those baseball players because there's a lot of recreation that happens there. Also incredibly impressive to me was the $200,000 matching grant for the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. So huge kudos to staff. Thank you to the city for already being on top of this, and calling and finding out that something is already being taken care of before you even ask to have it taken care of is pretty amazing and pretty consistently how we do things here. So I just wanted to make sure that I had a moment to say those things and thank staff for this awesome map that I intend to share with those softball players and families, and enthusiastically move to approve.
Thank you, Katie. Anybody else? Yes, go ahead, Andrew.
A couple of things, probably just questions for Felicia is, this item right here is strictly just for the turf replacement at this time. So what is the timeline of this specific item, and then as well as the other improvements that Councilmember Gannon just mentioned, where do we stand with that?
I'd like to invite Leisure Services Director Chip Potts up so that he can give you a detailed schedule.
Perfect. And I'm sure the players are eager to hear.
Yep. All in good time.
Good evening.
Grass is expensive.
So the first thing we wanted to wait on was to find out what the total project cost for the turf was going to be, because that had a big impact on the total $400,000 price. So at $265,000, in a meeting not too long ago, actually we had a budget allocation for another $100,000 on top of the $200,000 that we have this year, because it was split over 2 years, $200,000 this year, $200,000 next year. So we have to kind of meld the project together. We're looking at starting the project in June. The World Turf has said it takes probably 6 weeks to do a project like this. So as we get into June, we'll get that project started. We'll see how much money we have for the scoreboards left over. If we can initiate that project, we'll start that at this time. If not, we may have to wait until October to get that going.
Next fiscal year.
The fiscal year, correct.
Yeah.
So as soon as the fiscal year turns, we'll continue to work on the rest of the project.
Ready for fall ball then.
Ready for fall ball, hopefully.
Fall ball.
Maybe a little bit late, but we're going to work our way towards it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Very cool.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you,
Anyone
Chip.
else? Nope. Thank you so much, Chip, for that. I just want to make one comment. When I was at the Little League, as Katie mentioned, a lot of the board members and some of the coaches were asking about this, and this is a great advancement for our city, for the ballparks. I am really excited about this project, and I want to thank city staff and Felicia, of course, for taking this on and getting it done. Thank you so much. So I have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there any other comments? All right, thank you. We have to go back to the consent docket, correct?
We're done with that now?
We did.
We're done?
Okay, we just move on to item number 10.
All right, and we're going to move on to City of Oldsmar, item number 10. And it's the Oldsmar Neighborhoods Association. We have a presentation by Vince Abelise. Come on up, Vince.
So congratulations, Councilmember Buckman and Mayor Saraki. Look forward to working with you, and Katie, of course, your return here. It was a year ago that I was also honored to receive the City Manager Award on the behest of Mayor Saraki, I will say that we had grand ambitions at the time, but I thought it was a little early in the sense that we had good thoughts and intentions but hadn't delivered. I'm proud to say today we're a year into it, and I have some very exciting news to share with you. And I will tell you that what we are doing, the word is spreading, including into the 12th Congressional District, who wants to be involved in what we're doing. And the end of this, I'll tell you what the ask is, to allow me to work with City Manager Felicia on the city showing some commitment and matching here as we move forward. So what is the Neighborhood Association? So this started with me being the HOA president for Tuscany Woods, and Felicia doing an extraordinary job in getting to every HOA in the community. It's just an impossible way to stay in touch, but she was there. So we talked originally about having an HOA of HOAs, and then we came to realize that most of, at least half of the Oldsmar community isn't represented by a homeowners association, and that we in fact are working in a neighborhood fashion. So over the course of the year, this has dramatically changed now because what we've recognized is that this city is an incredible model, geographically close, great connection with government, but a huge spirit of volunteerism. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about Liz Martin and the Operation Jack's Village here, but there are many examples of people working extraordinarily hard to get things done. SUDA with the arts, I mean, it goes on and on, right? What the Oldsmar Neighborhood Association is now positioned to do is to be a hub so that those groups are not working independently. And so whether it's fundraising or having things come together or becoming what I would call a force multiplier so that 1 + 1 + 1 is going to equal 10. So that sounds a little bit esoteric, but I'll tell you what we have done over the past year that has demonstrated that this really can work, and it really can work in Oldsmar. So there are 3 driving factors for us. The 3 key words are resiliency, sustainability, and growth. Those things sound remarkably familiar to what we heard in the messaging here, right? So we're focused on exactly those same things. And in order not to be all talk, we decided to target specific things that we could get done. And so on each of these, I'd like to touch on what we are really doing and how the impact of us working together is so much more than us working independently. So on the subject of growth to start, we partnered with the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, and the federal government actually had a grant we're giving out $100 million to try and connect federal programs with small business, right? And actually talked to Felicia about applying for some of that. And in the end, we realized that we didn't need any federal money to do this. We had everything we needed here. We were able to link in a time of economic recovery. In this particular case, we focused on economic recovery grants. And through the chamber, through their membership, not only did we increase chamber membership, but I'm happy to report that we've brought $10 million back to 28 small businesses in the Oldsmar area. Now, all that money is coming through the IRS. Much of it, for individuals who A, didn't know it existed, B, were afraid of the IRS, or C, didn't know that they qualified for it. Substantial organizations moving through this. And the beauty of this is that from the model of donating back, the organization that is taking care of helping this move is also donating back to fuel our programs in the city of Oldsmar. So it creates a virtuous circle on how we're getting things done. Surprising amounts of money. I'm not going to go into individual businesses, but it's close to 30 businesses in the Oldsmar area. And the numbers there are $180,000, $200,000. A local scouting group got $2 million, all right? This is substantial money. And just to be clear, this is if you did the right thing. If you had people on the payroll, you kept them, this money is coming back. So what we are doing here as a representation of what we can do as a neighborhood association, us working together, is that if we hadn't brought these businesses to the chamber, if the city hadn't been supportive, right, none of this would have happened. So it's an idea of linking where we've created something out of what might not have been at all. On the second area, on the subject of sustainability, Our sample project had to do with what was mentioned earlier about the beautification of the homes in the CRA as our sample. As noted, there is already budgeted money for beautification, the paint up,
Paint it up, fix it up.
paint up, fix up, right? However, when you get with the powerful people at the Oldsmar Organic Garden Club, right, and you combine that with the fact that the city already has money allocated, and then you realize that an individual getting $1,000 has a buying power of one person and 1,000, but 10 of those individuals getting together, we can probably do 20 homes. So what's happened is, what you will see us working toward is that we have the master gardener for Pinellas County coming. We're going to be talking about a major event about what Florida friendly looks like, cutting down pesticides, cutting down the watering, not worrying about frost, and doing something beautiful in a way with fundamentally the city paying for it, for those homeowners that would like to volunteer, is now within our reach. And even the kids from Jack's Village are using their program management skills to help design what some of these things will look like, right? So that's project number 2, another area where I'm not a gardener, right? But putting ourselves together, we can do a lot more if we work together. Area number 3 is the one closest to the heart, and these things are being funded through donations that are coming back from that growth program in the ERC. In addition, though, this has such a good spirit about it that, like I said, it has caught the attention. We've already pre-presented this to Felicia as a good idea, but also to the Congressman Bill Arakis, whose head of community outreach is now serving on the advisory board for us. So we've got a lot of attention here. So what does this mean? You're going to start to hear about a program that we have developed called Hummingbird Passage. There's a lot to be said about that, but a hummingbird is a bird that isn't supposed to fly. And the passage is the right of all of us to work together and get together to improve ourselves. As a matter of fact, our goal is to help individuals become well-adjusted human beings and create a purpose-driven life, right? So that's what we're trying to do. Where does this fit in? It means that we can go to someone like Liz and the great program and the kids she's got with her and the 600 more or so that are attached to her program and be able to tell them that we can plug them into something that represents Oldsmar itself and that she's not alone in this venture, right? I had the opportunity to be on the My Chamber TV at Amici's last week, and I followed a woman working with 4 others that is I had no idea that Tampa Bay is the number 3 port of entry for human trafficking in the United States, right? So she has rescued 95 kids this past year, the youngest being 3 years old, who was a boy working in the fields, okay? All right, so I can't do what Liz does. I can't do what this woman does. I do know that we have something to plug her into. Oldsmar really does care at a big level. And we can tie these things together where they're not alone and she's not running she's going to do a bike-a-thon to raise money, right? So we can do something better with this. So the net effect of this is that we are intent on creating mentors so that the good Liz's of the world don't burn themselves out as they try and go through their mission. And so our program is meant to foster those who can be the future leaders and help Oldsmar rise to be able to accomplish this. So that's the mission, that's the goal. It's been an incredible year, and we're looking for exponential growth now that we've proven ourselves. We have the model, got great citizen involvement, and to an individual, really. Everyone here has been incredibly supportive, and we're deeply appreciative. The ask is going to be that we will be coming to the city manager with a modest budget. It is critically important to us that we have the endorsement of the city in moving forward. We're going to work hard to do that, and we're going to take that, and we're going to leverage that in the community to continue to raise more money, both from our business partners and also now with the help of the congressman. So thank you very much for your support, and I look forward to giving you regular ongoing reports of our progress as we move.
Thank you, Vince. Does anybody have any questions real quick?
Nope. Thanks, Vince.
I have one quick question. You mentioned you're looking for budget money. Have you reached out to the HOAs, maybe asking them for some of their funds?
So on the beautification side of things, not only are we after the CRAs, homes inside the CRA, which are obvious here, but also one of the things, we want to carry this forward into the HOAs so that the Florida-friendly landscaping in the common areas is covered there. And in that case, we're reaching into the HOAs to help contribute with that. And thank you for mentioning that, because there's a couple of other good things happening. One, coastal waste and recycling has been extraordinarily willing to come forward and volunteer. And that's also led to Fieldstone Turf, which is one of the largest companies here. Both of them have stepped forward into Oldsmar, right, in order to be able to help push this program forward. So we're getting corporate sponsors, we got the HOAs involved in that one area of sustainability.
I'm going to reach out to you about the HOA funding. I got some ideas.
Good.
Thank you again for the presentation. Great job, and keep up the good work. Thank you so much for what you do for the community. It
Appreciate
means a lot to
everybody.
us. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Liz. Ladies, for being here. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is City Attorney Tom Trask.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 11 is approved site plan and variances for the Wendy's. This is a quadjudicial hearing. Sorry?
Do I need to make an announcement before?
If you want to, yes. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, Council, my employer, First American Title Insurance Company, prepared the property information report included in this agenda item. As such, per Florida statute section 112.3143, I'm abstaining from voting or taking other action on this matter tonight.
Thank you, Councilman Graber.
Okay, so anyone that's going to speak on this particular agenda item tonight, if you could stand up, raise your right hand, I'm going to swear you under oath. This is a quadjudicial hearing. You swear the testimony you're about to give tonight is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Okay. So Tatiana, do you want to make your presentation on behalf of the city?
Tatiana Childress, City of Oldsmar Planning and Redevelopment Department. So this is the site plan, building architecture, and variance approval request for Wendy's. The location is well known to everybody. It's at 4066 Tampa Road, adjacent to the Park Avenue Plaza, and it's also located along Tampa Road corridor. The zoning for this parcel is C2 Commercial General with the CG General Commercial Future Land Use. This site is subject to Tampa Road Corridor overlay, and the site plan and building architecture require council approval. The existing site is approximately 22 square feet drive-through restaurant, which is going to be demolished with this site approval. The proposed site plan includes, again, demolition of the existing building, construction of the new restaurant, drive-through restaurant, construction of the outdoor dining area. It will include enhanced landscaping, new monument sign. The proposed floor area ratio is 0.05, and the maximum FAR in this district is allowed up to 0.45. Proposed impervious surface area ratio is 0.6, and this district allows 0.7. Therefore, the site is consistent with the district regulations. I'll keep it on this page just to go over some specific site details. So the parking includes 22 parking spaces. Restaurant use requires 10 spaces per 1,000 square foot of gross building area, and the minimum 5 foot of total parking spaces provided and required to be accessible. So again, the site includes 22 parking spaces, including 2 accessible, as you can see on this side. The transportation, so this property will maintain existing vehicular access to Burbank Road and Tampa Road. The site currently has 2 separate access driveways for entering and exiting from Tampa Road. there's an additional two-way access from to Burbank Road. The proposed site will add regulatory signs at all access points, and additionally, the clear side visibility triangles at the corner of Tampa Road and Burbank Road will be maintained. Regarding the sidewalk, so the property has an existing 4-foot sidewalk, which is parallel to Burbank Road, and an existing 6-foot sidewalk along Tampa Road. The proposed plan will include a new 5-foot sidewalk parallel to Burbank. We also have to review the building architecture for this site. So the following slides include building elevations. So the proposed parapet walls and other architectural elements will create the appearance of a 2-story facade, which is consistent with the district regulations with Tampa Road corridor overlay. The proposed building also provides a cohesive pattern of accessible earth-toned and muted colors. Proposed exterior finishes include materials that are consistent with the district regulations, including stucco, accent bricks, and some other materials. The following slides include building architecture from the east elevation, building architecture from the west, and also the south elevation, and also includes the Pantone colors of all of the colors on the building. So the site plan also includes 4 variance requests. The first variance is to decrease the landscape buffer along Burbank Road from 15 to 6. The site is narrow and constrained, and Tampa Road corridor plan notes that a waiver in the secondary front landscape requirements may be required if the demonstrated hardship exists. So along Tampa Road corridor, it's a corner lot, so it's considered to have 2 fronts, one along Tampa Road corridor and one along Burbank. Along Tampa Road corridor, the site will include a 15-foot enhanced landscape buffer, whereas along Burbank, it will be reduced to 6 foot. The variance 2 is a request to increase the minimum distance for landscape islands to 130 feet. The site is narrow again and constrained, and enhanced buffers on western property boundary will be provided in this area. In addition to that 15-foot landscape buffer and a terminal landscape island, which is a larger island now, so they just removed the interior landscape island. The third variance is to decrease the required parking to 22 stalls. The code does not differentiate between the drive-through restaurants and the sit-down restaurants, and the drive-through restaurants normally require less parking. In addition, decrease in required parking minimizes the need for additional impervious surface material and protects the green space. Variance 4 is to decrease the width for parallel parking stall size from 10 feet to 9 feet. Currently, parallel parking spaces are required to be 10 foot in width by the Land Development Code. So the decreased parking stall size will decrease overall impervious surface and stormwater runoff, and it will not impact the vehicular use area circulation for the site. And also, it will provide the tree preservation along the Burbank. So instead of a 5-foot existing buffer, it will be 6 foot. And staff recommends approval of the conceptual site plan and building architecture. Also approval of the 4 variances, approval of the decreased landscape buffer from 6 feet along Burbank Road, approval of the increase in minimum landscape island distance to 130 feet, and also a variance request to decrease the required parking to 22 stalls, and the variance to decrease the parallel parking stalls to 9 feet. Any questions?
Now's the opportunity to ask any questions. Any questions from the council? There not being any, do you want to submit your staff report into evidence?
Yes.
You need to receive that then, Mayor? So, you want to receive that?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Okay, so now, sir, are you here for the applicant?
Yes, I'm with Wendy's.
Okay, sir, do you have any questions of city staff at this point?
No, we've interacted with city staff throughout.
Just questions, any
No
questions?
questions.
Okay, so Tatiana, are you finished then with your presentation?
Yes.
Okay, so sir, now would be your opportunity to step forward and make your presentation to the council if you have, if you want to do that. If you could state your name and your address, please.
Sure. First name is Matt, last name Knupp, Knupp, very similar. My address is 11141 Bronson Road in Claremont, Florida. I'm a new resident of Florida, just about a year. Wendy's transferred me here from Chicago, so I'm still adapting to Florida, but we love it. But we didn't know about Oldsmar. We might have looked here for a house, but we're very happy in Claremont. With all the discussion tonight about branding, I was disappointed to see the McDonald's logo on the slide, but maybe I'll throw out, where's the beef? Those in my age group remember that commercial. The existing store is very old and tired and doesn't represent the Wendy's brand that we are today. I've been with Wendy's for 8 years. We've been on a very aggressive remodeling campaign, enforcing our franchisees to remodel their stores, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of it. I work for the corporation. Florida is a corporate market. We have about 200 company stores in the Florida market. This is one of them. We just actually at December grew to 200. We purchased 93 stores from one of our franchisees in Florida. So we have a very big corporate commitment as well as a franchise commitment here. So we're excited, to bring this. This is an adaptation of our current prototype. But we want to work with staff and the council and the citizens to get the look that you want without impacting our brand and still presenting the brand out there. So I'm really here if you have any questions about it. I just want to thank you, congratulate everyone. I was fearful when I walked up here with the crowd. I was like, oh gosh, there's a protest against Wendy's tonight, because I've been at hearings where there's big crowds at times. So I was very happy to see it was a great occasion. So proud to be here. And if you have any questions for me.
Any questions from the council? Councilmember Gannon.
Thank you, Tom. Tell me about the smaller footprint concept and the outdoor patio dining. Because I was like, okay, they're demolishing it, which is kind of cool, building a new one, but it is a smaller store.
Yes.
Right?
So and I'll go back to the 8 years that I've been here. When I started, our kitchens were much larger. We had dual-sided cooking and preparation. And our dining rooms, we were building 65-seat dining room stores. 75% roughly of our business is drive-through. We don't need the seats anymore. We need seating. We have customers come in and sit and dine, but the majority of the business is through the drive-through. But we've also finding that store has the old atrium on it, which maybe feels like a patio. I don't know, but truly providing a patio has been a great experience for the customers. Feedback is very well on that. So we've downsized the kitchen because the seating is downsized. We don't need that cooking capacity. And then we've downsized the seating area in the dining room.
And then the demolition and reconstruction is all funded by Wendy's Corporation, not a local franchisee?
Correct.
That's what I understand.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
One quick question. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. What's your expected timeline?
Well,
The industry right now of construction.
yeah, I just today placed orders for HVAC equipment that has a 6-month lead time. So I'd like to say it's this year, but our operations folks are really after me for this year. We're ready, if we're blessed to get your approval tonight, we'll go full steam with our drawings. Should be able to be in for permit, 6 to 8 weeks from now. Permitting time, depending on what but I would hope by fall that we could be under construction. Prior to the supply chain issues, our construction time was about 90 days. We're stretched out now, and it's going, 6 months. So it's hard to pin it down.
Yep, Boot Ranch it is.
We're gonna have to go to Boot Ranch for a while to get Wendy's.
Yeah, well, trust me, once we close that store, the pressure will be on to reopen it because the revenue's gone. So it will have my full focus to get it as quick as possible. We're pre-ordering as much as we can once we know a project's a go. So, I'll literally start ordering the rooftop equipment, all the kitchen equipment in the next 7 to 10 days.
Nice. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mayor?
That was the question I had that Andrew had. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have actually two things. One, I need to explain to my daughters that there's no Frosties for about 90 days.
Uh-oh.
Or 6 months, depending on the
You
time.
you can go to the Tampa Zoo, there's a Frosty cart.
Well, the Frosty machine works unlike the ice cream machine at McDonald's.
Thank you.
The one question I do have is because I do approach this many times. My cardiologist doesn't like me going here, but when I do come up from Burbank Road and come up the backside and go left into that entrance, sometimes there's some backup on the Burbank Road from people trying to get into the drive-through from the wrong side and not
Right.
going around the building.
Mhm.
Is there anything we can do about potentially moving that entrance or maybe putting some sort of
We can,
guidance cones or something? I'm
You know,
just
we're
thinking.
early on, we can certainly work on, you know, the striping patterns to help with that. That is something that we try to manage. Sometimes we can put in a little curbing there to help direct traffic rather than the, you know, the cheaters that are trying to get into the drive-through. So certainly we can.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Now's the opportunity for anyone in the public that wants to address this application. You can step forward. Anyone from the public want to address this application? Okay, seeing no one from the public then, is there any closing comments that you have, Tatiana? No? Okay. Sir, any closing comments?
No.
Okay, so it's back to the commission then, or for the council for consideration and approval. And I would recommend to you that you consider in your motion, it would be a motion to approve, and then you have 4 variances. There is a recommended motion in the packet, in the memo that you've been provided. So if you feel that approval is necessary for the project and/or some of the variances, that you would address that in the motion as well.
Thank you, Tom.
All
So
right.
I'm looking for a motion to approve all the amendment, variances requests.
Here we go. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the concept, site plan, and building architecture as presented, including variance number 1, to request the landscape buffer along Burbank Road reduced from 15 feet to 6 feet, approval of the variance request to increase the minimum distance between landscape islands to 130 feet, and approval of the variance request to reduce the required parking from 24 spaces to 22 spaces, and number 4, approval of the variance request to reduce the parallel parking width from 10 feet to 9 feet.
Thank you, Katie. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I have council discussion. Anything else?
So glad it was not 6 stories. Come on, somebody had to say it. Somebody had to say it.
All right.
Mayor, I have
Oh, yes,
something real
sure.
quick. I'd just like to thank the applicant for coming. We appreciate getting the information feedback, and I would like to say your shirt has certainly adapted to the Florida lifestyle. so.
I'm trying.
And I have to admit, I'm gonna miss the Frosties. I love those. All right, I have a motion and a second, and would you please do the roll call?
Councilmember Graber has abstained. Councilmember Buckman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Knapp?
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon?
Yes.
Mayor Saraki?
Yes.
Site plan and 4 variances for Wendy's located at 4066 Tampa Road is approved with 4 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you, Ann. Now we're gonna move back to the city manager, item 12. Thank you, Felicia.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 12, authorize city manager to negotiate contract 2022-002-RFQ for professional services for construction, engineering, and inspection for Douglas Road Project Phases 1 and 2. On November 2nd, 2021, City Council authorized a request for qualifications for construction, engineering, and inspection firms, we call that CEI, to provide professional services for the Douglas Road project. The project is currently funded by 2 state appropriations totaling $2.5 million. As the project is funded by the Florida Department of Transportation administered grants, the city is required to solicit a separate RFQ for construction, engineering, and inspection. On December 31st, 2021, the RFQ was advertised and 8 statement of qualifications were received on February 1st, 2022. The statement of qualifications were evaluated and ranked by a selection committee of Planning and Redevelopment, Administrative Services, and Public Works staff members, which met on February 22nd, 2022. The selection committee found that each statement of qualification to be responsive and all firms to be responsible. The ranking of qualifications was as follows. The first ranked firm is DRMP, Inc. Number 2, AE Engineering, Inc. Number 3, Stanley Consultants, Inc. Number 4, H.W. Lochner, Inc. Number 5, there's a tie, Civil Serve Design Group, Inc. Ally Engineering Services, Inc. Number 6 is RS&H, Inc. Number 7 is SAI Consulting Engineers. Contract negotiations will be performed in ranking order until a satisfactory contract at a fair, competitive, and reasonable price is negotiated. The resultant contract will be brought back to council for approval. The City Council has appropriated $3.2 million for Douglas Road improvements in fiscal year '22 budget. $1.9 million was included in the Capital Improvement Fund, $1.3 million in the Stormwater Utility Fund. These appropriations will be utilized to fund this contract for the CEI as well as construction costs. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you very much. I am looking for a motion.
To approve? So moved.
Second? Open for discussion. Anybody have any discussion?
Can't get done fast enough.
Thank you so much, Felicia. Everyone signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 14, approve the memorandum of agreement for use of weather stem stations between the Florida Division of Emergency Management and the City of Oldsmar. Real-time weather information is an important piece of our response during weather and tropical events. During an EOC activation, weather information is collected from Tampa Bay Regional Resources, but we lack specific information related to Oldsmar. The Florida Division of Emergency Management has appropriated funds to provide hyper-local real-time weather data in strategic locations to assist in deployment of resources to impacted areas during storm events. With council approval of this agreement, the weather stem system would be installed on public city property and provide valuable weather-related data before, during, and after the storms. 2 stations are recommended, one at Veterans Park and the second at city-owned property on Hayes Road to provide inland data related to city EOC locations. This MOA provides installation and prepayment of the maintenance for the weather stations for 3 years following the installation. The city becomes responsible for maintenance, repair, software updates, and other costs for the estimated lives during the expiration of the prepaid 3-year maintenance agreement at an estimated cost of about $1,900 annually per station. A weather stem equipment's about, the lifespan's expected to be about 10 years. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments?
Very cool.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Just a couple, after speaking with Felicia earlier today about this particular item, obviously she just mentioned about the maintenance obligation, or prepaid essentially, that we're responsible for the first 3 years. If it's my understanding, she believes there may be some opportunity where the Florida Division of Emergency Management may negotiate with us at that point later to kind of take on some of that burden for the maintenance costs. And then the other thing that, just being kind of the technological question side of things, was, what happens after this 10-year lifespan? There is no obligation at this time to replace it, although there is an appetite probably at that time to do so, and the Division of Emergency Management will likely assist at that time. But we don't know, and there's no obligations at the time. So I just figured I'd like to point that out because, if we're going to keep it, there's going to be some cost to keep doing this in the future. So,
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Go ahead, Katie.
I remember when, I think it was one of my very first meetings, we actually wrote letters to all the local weather stations to please include Oldsmar on, or TV news stations, to please include Oldsmar on your weather mapping and in your forecasting, because they never included us. And this is kind of a cool backward opportunity to get them the data they need to tell it back to us.
Wonderful. Steve, Jared, anything? All right, thank you. I'm excited about this project. I love weather, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Item number 15, authorize the city attorney to draft an ordinance amending the City of Oldsmar Code to provide definitions for secondary fronts for corner lot properties and to include provisions for 6-foot fences within defined secondary fronts on corner lots. Tatiana Childress will give a brief presentation.
Yes, so some of you may have seen this presentation from the planning board. So this is a code amendment. Providing secondary front definitions and corner lot fencing provisions. So basically today, if you live on a corner lot and you wanted to install a 6-foot fence in your, what you would call side yard, it's considered to be a front yard in our code. We would require an administrative variance, which costs $250, and also requires a certificate of ownership. Unless you reside within the CRA area. So in 2018, there was a code amendment to the Town Center Code, which which provided definitions for the secondary fronts, allowing a 6-foot fence only with a permitting review. So staff reviewed some of those cases from 2018, and we had no issues issuing these kind of fence permits just with the review process only. So we recommend code amendment to make this provision uniform in the entire city of Oldsmar. Therefore, if you, by doing this, we will include the definitions of the secondary fronts in the code, and there will be no more hardship to get your fence permit. It will not be a 2-month process because regular today administrative variance has to run through the TRC, the Technical Review Committee. And then once the TRC reviews the administrative variance, then we'll also require you to submit an additional fence permit. So it's being reviewed twice. I have a couple of slides I can demonstrate just what this process looks like today. I know we don't have time for this. So I basically already gave the history of this. In addition, I forgot to mention that prior to 2015, when this code was changed to the administrative variance review, we required actually a regular variance. So the Board of Adjustment used to review each and single corner lot fence as a planning case. So since 2015, we've been reviewing them administratively, and we haven't seen any issues either. So none of the neighbors complained, and we didn't see any other During the permitting review, we still check each and single permit for clear side triangles. As demonstrated in some of this, we'll also check for fence easements. So each and single permit goes through the TRC or BCP reviewers, and no fences are allowed in the drainage easements. However, we do allow to put fences in the utility easements, provided that the applicant will install gates or the homeowner will install the gates. We also check for the provision will include a code change, so the fence will have to be placed at least 5 feet away from the sidewalk, and this was done for consistency. So in a lot of our neighborhoods, we have a separation between the sidewalk and the plat, so your lot line doesn't run along the side of the sidewalk. For consistency, we are proposing this 5-foot offset from the sidewalk. It also creates any kind of construction with the repair of the sidewalk, so there's room there for the right-of-way to work for the city employees. So we had to, since it's a code amendment, we had to run it through the steps. So the amendment complies with the comprehensive plan and advances the purpose of the land development code. The amendment will contribute to promote the community welfare. As I mentioned, no conflicts have occurred using the permit-only process in the town center since 2018, and none of the administrative variances have been denied based on the request height along the secondary front in the past. Again, this amendment only applies if you reside in a corner lot, so you will not be able to install that 6-foot fence. Well, you can still apply with the regular variance, but those variances for 6-foot fence in the front yard, they've never been supported by the board historically, so it's only applicable to the corner lot fences. The amendment will not grant a special privilege to an individual property owner. As mentioned earlier, this will be uniform throughout the city. So today we had some complaints where if you're on one side of St. Pete Drive, you're required to have this $250 variance and certificate of ownership on all this paperwork. If you're on the other side in the CRA, you're not required, so we're making it uniform for the entire city. And based on the discussion, staff recommends approval of the text amendment to provide definitions for secondary front for corner lot properties and to include provisions for 6-foot fences within defined secondary fronts for corner lots.
Thank you very much, Tatiana. Great job. Well overdue. I'm looking for a motion.
Make a motion to authorize the city attorney to draft an ordinance amending the code to provide for the definitions of secondary fronts for corner lot properties and include the provisions for 6-foot fences within those lots.
Thank you, Katie. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Go ahead, Katie.
Thank you.
I have just one thing, and I said this when I was on the planning board. You know, I live on a corner lot, and from 16 to 18, trying to get through that administrative variance was very challenging. And when I got the call from Maria Michelle telling me, hey, we eliminated it and you don't need that anymore, I was unaware that we only did it in the CRA. So I'm happy to see that we're extending it to all the citizens.
Yes. Thank you.
Anything else, Steve? Katie, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I just wanted to compliment Tatiana for essentially taking on something that has just been kicked down the road for a little bit. This should have been taken care of a long time ago, but you know, it's a lot of work to put it together and to move it through. But this needed to be amended so that we're consistent across the entire city. So thank you for moving this forward.
Thank you, Councilmember
Yep.
Gannon.
And I second what Katie said. Great job. Wonderful. With that, everyone signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes.
Item number 16, approve a special event fee waiver request for the Oldsmar Friends of the Arts presentation of The Little Mermaid Junior to be held on April 23rd, 2022. The Oldsmar Friends of the Arts was formed as a 501c3 in October 2020 with the goal of enhancing the performing arts in Oldsmar. As a nonprofit, the organization provides support by hosting various fundraisers over the course of the year and utilizing those funds to pay for production costs, such as the rental of sound and lighting equipment and scripts for the shows for the city's Opal Theater program. On April 23rd, 2022, the Oldsmar Friends of the Arts will present the musical performance of The Little Mermaid Junior on the Elizabeth Skinner Amphitheater stage in Orioles Park. Free presentation will be the culmination of over 4 months of practice leading up to 2 on-stage rehearsals and a final performance. It's anticipated that the performance will bring close to 600 people to the park. In accordance with the City of Oldsmar Special Events Guide, the above organization is requesting the city waive fees associated with this event in the amount of $860. All external costs, including utility fees of $150, will be the event organizer's responsibility as outlined in the application. Copy of the application is attached and to the agenda item for review. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any comments from anybody?
Looking forward to it.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yep, I love these plays.
Item
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. There you go.
Thank you. Item number 17, approve the special event application fee waiver for the Holiday Sharing Fund Bike Rodeo event to be held on Saturday, April 16, 2022. The Holiday Sharing Fund provides bicycles to disadvantaged children in Oldsmar and Safety Harbor during the Christmas holiday season, in addition to partnering with Habitat for Humanity to provide bikes for the Kids Pedal Power program. This free event will take place in the parking lot in the council chambers right outside of State Street Center right here, and includes safe bike operation instruction to children in the community while providing a fun and active experience. In accordance with the City of Oldsmar Special Event Guide, the Holiday Sharing Fund is requesting a fee waiver associated with the event in the amount of $350. Copy of the application is attached to the agenda report for review. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you very much. This is always a wonderful event for many, many years. I'm looking for a motion.
I move to approve the special event application fee waiver as presented.
I second that motion.
In a second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Item number 18, adopt resolution 2022-05, revising the budget for fiscal year 21-22. Attached, and I'll read the resolution by title only in a few minutes, is revision to the annual budget for fiscal year 21-22. The general fund, water sewing operating fund, and stormwater fund require adjustment at this time. The present economic condition has made recruitment and retention of employees a challenge across many industries, with public and private employers alike struggling to maintain operations of unfilled positions. In particular, our city's geographic location and urbanized environment with over 23 other cities in the same county, not to mention the county itself, and other government employees in surrounding counties, combined with rapid wage growth throughout the area, has created a hyper-competitive atmosphere for finding and keeping employees. To address these challenges, this budget revision is intended to fund a temporary employee retention program, Stay Pay, to help the city attract and retain employees and to assist employees through the financial challenges brought forth with the current economic environment. The Stay Pay program would consist of $500 quarterly payments for full-time staff remaining employed with the city, starting with the first pay period in April. Those full-time employees employed with the city as of the first day of each remaining quarter of fiscal year, those dates would be April 1st, 2022 and July 1st, 2022, would receive a $500 payment as an incentive to stay to the city. Part-time employees would receive $250 payment as part of the plan. Any future payments beyond this fiscal year would need to be reauthorized by council, as this is a temporary incentive, is not being permanently added to the city's pay plan. The implementation of this employee retention program for the remaining 6 months of this year would result in 2 Stay Pay payments to city employees. The FY 21-22 budgetary impact for the proposed incentive program totals approximately $160,000 for 21-22. Reserves in the general fund of $109,000, water sewer operating fund $46,000, and the stormwater fund $5,000 will be used to fund payments through the end of the current fiscal year as per the attached budget revision. I'll read a resolution by title only. A resolution of the City Council, Resolution 2022-05, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, revising the budget for fiscal year beginning October 1, 2021, and ending September 30th, 2022, authorizing the city manager and the director of administrative services to revise the existing budget. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve budget revision.
Second that motion.
I have a motion and a second.
And the resolution?
And the resolution, thank you, Tom, 2022-05.
Thank you very much. Everyone in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Felicia. I think that's well overdue for the employees. It's important to keep our employees here. Thank you so much for your hard work on that. Next item, we made it through. City Clerk.
I don't have anything.
You don't have anything?
I'm good.
All right. City Council is up. Appoint Vice Mayor to serve from March 22nd, 2022 through March 21st, 2023. And I want to make something very clear. The Vice Mayor's job for this city is to help if I can't make a meeting or if we need any special events, the Vice Mayor will help with those projects. That's what the Vice Mayor's job is. And with that, I want to announce that I'm making Jared Buckman Vice Mayor of the City of Oldsmar. Congratulations, Jared.
Thank you, Mayor.
Has to be, we need to have that done by a majority of the council too, so we need a vote. That's your recommendation?
Yes, it is.
And so we need a motion to appoint then.
All right.
I move to appoint Jared Buckman Vice Mayor of the City of Oldsmar.
Okay.
Anymore?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor of making Jared Buckman the Vice Mayor of the City of Oldsmar signify by saying aye.
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 All any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Council. And welcome, Jared.
Thank you.
Council comments. It's just so weird saying this. Council comments. Let's start with you, Steve.
Thank you, Mayor. In the interest of time, just congratulations, Councilmember Gannon, Mayor Saraki, Vice Mayor Buckman, and happy birthday to our son this Saturday.
right.
He turns 4. We got him a parade and a carnival. That's all I have.
Perfect.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to let Andrew, you go next, please.
Okay, sure. Last Friday, I attended the O2B Fun Gala over at the, if I pronounce this wrong, please forgive me, the Bayanihan Art Center.
Ooh, that was good.
Over on Nine Eagles Drive. It was a really nice event. It was not as filled up as the Oldsmar Cares Gala that was there a few weeks prior, but it was still a great crowd. One of the nice announcements that was made by Brenda Hatfield, who is the Chief Executive Officer for that group, is over the last 10 years in their existence, they have donated over $800,000 in grants, scholarships to kids for education purposes. So I thought that was a really great event for the few kids that were there in attendance that received some of the grants, so it was really nice. Quick reminder, as mentioned by Mr. Sanders at the beginning of the meeting, we have our beverage tent shift this Sunday, so looking forward to everybody coming out, doing a little bit of team building, having some fun, enjoying some probably pretty nice weather, as far as I know it will be. Welcome, Jared. I'm sure you are relieved to be at this point in your now council career versus about a week ago. So,
Thank you.
And same to you, Dan. I'm looking forward to getting to work. And just on a final note, I try to end things on a rather positive note, but this may be a little bit somber. But the gentleman that spoke during open forum this start today, speaking about Ukraine, I really want to encourage everybody to really, don't take for granted the type of things we have here. We just got through the democratic process and bringing, newly elected officials on board, and the peace that I anticipate will come forward from that. And it's pretty difficult to see what's going on in other parts of the world. And, we're all people on this planet, and I hope that you can maybe find some way in your heart, if you have the ability, to help somebody over there. I've seen things as unique as renting an Airbnb that you will never go to in Ukraine, and finding some way to help those folks, because it's really tragic humanitarian atrocities that I think are happening over there. So without getting too political and off of my soapbox, I just encourage you to, don't take for granted what we have here in the United States, because you never know when something could dramatically change. Fingers crossed, hope that never happens. But so yeah, I will end with that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Katie?
Thank you, Mayor. As was mentioned, congratulations, Mayor Saraki, Vice Mayor Buckman. Looking forward to working with you as you settle into your roles quickly and effortlessly. We'll be working together very soon, serving beer Sunday. So I want to encourage folks to attend the public open houses starting tomorrow on the Odeon Library site development. Really looking forward to the Easter extravaganza, and seriously, you have to be on time because the eggs will be gone if anybody has ever missed that. I've gotten a lot of messages on garbage pickup day from people having some trouble with Orion/Coastal service with the amount of garbage that they're taking, or issues with the type of garbage that was put out. If you have any issues with Orion or Coastal, if you would please call our utility billing department. That number is 813-855-5257. It's important to call that number specifically, because then we can kind of track the issues and figure out, the best practices to solve, and figure out what the most common problems are, the most common complaints, what have you. So if you are having trouble with your garbage pickup, again, call utility billing here at the city at 813-855-5257. And the last thing I wanted to say in the interest of saving time was Oldsmar in Orbit, just wow. Really amazing event. Actually, the astronaut that was there, Nicole Stott, a local Clearwater High School graduate, she said what Councilmember Knapp just said. When she was up orbiting the Earth, she gave this incredible presentation when we unveiled everything at RE Olds. She said, you look down and we're all just Earthlings, and being up there, she observed. And she wrote about it in her book that she later talked about at the book signing at the library. Fantastic presentation. You heard Jerry Antozzi talk about it earlier this evening at the open forum before our canvassing board meeting. That realization that there's really not that much that divides us. And it was a very moving presentation, not to mention the incredible work that Lisa Schmid put into it, along with, Karen Beal was there. Everybody was there volunteering and really making that event a big success. The signs, the Oldsmar and Orbit signs that are throughout the parks are actually permanent installations that you can, using your phone, you can go to the App Store on an Android or Apple phone, I'll get back to that in a second, and download an app called Roar, like Tiger Roar, like ROAR. And using that app, you can hold your phone up above the sign and scan the sign, and up on your phone will pop up this very cool 3D image that you can interact with, Zoom and everything like that. The Apple version of it is slightly delayed because the developer who was completing the Apple version of that software was actually in the Ukraine and escaped with only what was on his back. So he was unable to finish the Apple version of it for your iPhone. You will still hear the narration by the astronaut, Nicole Stott, if you scan the sign, but that will soon be finished as well. So as I said, that is a permanent installation, really, really cool throughout the park. So I just want to compliment Lisa Schmid on yet another incredible art launch. As Suda said, starts in parks and grows with the arts. It was really cool to see a lot of kids out there too, kind of remembering those days back when we used to have NASA and shuttle launches that weren't in, the private billionaires, but we'll take it. Right? Very cool. So thank you to the city for that incredible installation.
Anything else? Thank you very much. Jared, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate it. I want to again congratulate you, congratulate Mayor Beavis, Mayor Seidel for their campaigns and what they've run. For anybody out there that's looking to be a part of their city government, this whole process for me started at the 2018 Janice Miller Citizens Academy run by Kathy here, and I know it's on a hiatus, so I'm hoping we bring that back because we got 3 graduates from that class up here between me, Katie, and Andrew over there. So really great program. I know I'm a little late coming to the following party after the graduation, but I'm here now, so we're good. Looking forward to Oldsmar Days and Nights. Excited to see the carnival back. My kids are excited to see that. Going to be out there serving beer on Sunday, and I encourage everybody to come out and look at the public open houses on the library project. I'm really excited about the future, what we're going to do there.
Thank you. All right, with that, I just have a couple things. I just want to say that today I received an email from the Florida League of Cities, and I received the Home Rule Hero Award for the 5th year in a row, so I'm really excited about that. Thank you. I want to just say something to the team real quick. Katie, Andrew, and Steve, and Jared. I have to be honest with you, my grandkids were up late last night. They were jumping all over the place. I didn't get much sleep. I'm sorry if I was a little rusty today, but I guarantee you that I will not let you guys down. I am ready for this mission, and I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you. I'm excited about the opportunity, and as Jared said, running this campaign was not easy. It really wasn't. It was tough. It was tooth and nail every single day for over 90 days. So I just want you to know that I appreciate all of what you do, and I'm thankful to be on your team and a part of your team. And I want to thank Felicia for all your hard work that you've been doing and keeping me on track, and Tom keeping me in line. Is there anything else we got one more item. We have item 21. We have to talk about approve the tentative agenda. Would anybody like to pull anything from the tentative agenda?
Yes.
Jared?
I'd like to pull the public hearings on the reading of the density increases, 2121-25 and 2021-26.
Are you making a motion to do that?
Yes.
Do I have a second to pull that item? I don't have a second. I would like to consider the council to move that item so we can work on it at a later date. I would really consider that, if it would be possible, that we could talk about it as a team. Am I allowed to say that, Tom?
Yeah, but if there's no second, then the motion dies. So
All right.
is there a second?
Is there a second? There's no second, so the motion's gonna not pass. So we need a motion to approve the tentative agenda as it sits, as it stands.
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Excuse me, anybody opposed? No. Motion passes. With that, the first meeting is adjourned, correct?
We need a motion to adjourn.
Do we really need a motion to adjourn, Tom?
You normally get a motion to adjourn. There's no need for a second. and
Require a
then-
second.
then-
All right, so I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, first meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
I'm not going